Hello everyone. Today we are going to start learning about reading basics of Celpip. Celpip is the paper for Canadian immigration, and I have made a lot of videos on that so that you can understand how to clear this paper in the first go. Today we are going to talk about the basics of reading. I'll be discussing the overview, types of questions, test features, and scoring. Let us start with the overview. Now in reading, there are going to be 5 parts. The first part has only one question and timing is 1 minute. This is an unscored part, but it is a part of the practice test in which you can check out your system if it's working properly or not. Part 1 is reading correspondence. There are 11 questions and the timing is 11 minutes. Part 2, reading to apply a diagram. It has got 8 questions and timing is 9 minutes. Part 3 is 9 questions, timing is 10 minutes, and this is called as reading for information. If I talk about part 4, that is reading for viewpoints, number of questions are 10 and the timing is 13 minutes. Reading test takes about 55 to 60 minutes to complete. Let's talk about the kind of questions that are there in reading. The first kind is called as general meaning, which means that the generic ideas have to be taken from the passage on the whole, a few paragraphs, several sentences, or a single paragraph. Second type of question is called as specific information. In this, a close-up kind of question is asked. You are supposed to find some specific information from a specific sentence. The information can be a name, a date, place, time, or a fact. The third type of questions are called as inference questions. Now, these are very indirect questions, which ask you to take out conclusions from the text. These are not mentioned directly in the text, and we have to infer them. That is why I call them inference questions. Let's talk about the reading test features now. Now, remember one thing. The reading becomes difficult as and when the time goes by, which means if you start with part 1, that is the easiest. Part 2 happens to be slightly more difficult. Part 3 is most difficult out of 1, 2, and 3, and part 4 is ultimate in difficulty. Now, what exactly is difficulty level and how do they increase it? Okay, so they use more complex grammar. They use longer, more complex sentences. Increased range of words and phrases are used. They use a more specialized, formal, uncommon vocabulary. A lot of abstract ideas come into play. There is much broader content with less of personal content. The answering question requires more inference and deeper comprehension, which means if you do not understand, you will not be able to answer questions in part 3 and part 4. Let's talk about scoring now. The total score is out of 38, and the Celpip levels are defined out of 12. 10, 11, and 12 would mean a reading score of 33 to 38. 9 would mean 31 to 33. 8 is 28 to 31. 7 is 24 to 28. 6 is 19 to 25. 5 is 15 to 20. 4 is 10 to 16. 3 is 8 to 11. And M is from 0 to 7. Now, let's talk about scoring in a bit more detail. There are 38 scored questions in the reading test. Every question is for 1 point. There may be one unscored part. So if that unscored part comes to you, you will never come to know which one is that. You should always try to do your best in every part. Now, why is this unscored part given? This is a testing section for the future examinations. Points are not deducted for incorrect answers. Make it sure that you answer every question. The reading test is computer scored. It is without any human intervention. Your Celpip level is calculated by the computer based on the number of points and the difficulty level of the questions. The last point is very important. It is called a score equating, which means to ensure the fairness, all scores are equated on a similar scale. So let's understand this in detail. What is score equating? Now, score equating, let us understand this. A lot of care has been taken when designing the Celpip paper. The difficulty level of all the questions in all the sections is almost the same, but it's a language test. It is not possible to do it 100%. So what they do score equating so that proper fairness is there for everyone. Let us do a case study. Suppose there are two students, Ramesh and Suresh, and they take the test. Ramesh gets very easy questions and Suresh gets tough ones. Both scored 33. Now Ramesh will get 9 and Suresh will get 10. This will remove any kind of unfairness. In my next videos, I am going to talk about all the 4 parts of reading with the questions and strategies. Watch this place for more. Thank you so much for now.